My impression of this game that is generally well liked among RPG fans and Phantasy Star fans. Um, the game definitely has a few problems from its age. The two primary problems that I've heard from the game are that the game is super grindy, which does come into play really seriously about a third of the way into the game through a really dumb design decision that I frankly think the devs made. And some of the dungeons, to quote Spike Vegeta, they gave way too much of a fuck. Like, some of those dungeons are huge and labyrinthine and maze-like, and they are take a really long time to get through. Um, that being said, the game is still pretty innovative for its time. In some ways, like it has a more involved story than most RPGs, although the characters aren't really that well developed. You basically just get them, and they tell you a bit about themselves, and then they never say anything ever again, basically. Um, but the game has a more involved story definitely than like most RPGs of this era. And the game does have a big quest. And overall, the game is a mechanically solid RPG. Although it is important that you choose a good party for the long term, because if you choose some of the wrong party members, I've heard you might not get stuck, but you'll struggle a lot more. So yeah, this is a 1989 developer interview. And this is from Beep Mega Drive, which is a Japanese magazine specifically devoted to the Mega Drive, the Japanese Genesis. And this is with several Sega executives, as well as the anonymous planners Osar and Mick Austin, not pictured, discuss the broader logistical hurdles behind the launch of Phantasy Star II, one of the Mega Drive's early marquee titles. While little is said about the contents of the game itself, the interview provides some insight into the higher level coordination required to turn a promising title into a hit. By the way, here is the interview for those who want to read it yourself. How did the plan for Phantasy Star II come into being? Sega. Once the reviews and sales started coming in for Phantasy Star, and they were good, we started talking about making a part 2. At that point, we held a contest for players to submit their story ideas, and with that as our base, we officially got the project started. Normally, we get our ideas from the developers, who say, I want to do such and such this time, or there are directions from the higher-ups about what game to make. Development for Phantasy Star II took about a year, starting from that contest. Was there any talk of releasing it on the Sega Mark III, the Master System in Japan, like the previous game? We made the Phantasy Star II with almost the same staff from the original, but unlike the previous development, there was a ton of pressure this time to make the first RPG for the new Mega Drive hardware. We wanted to contend with the new possibilities opened up by the Mega Drive. To that end, we spent a lot of time thinking about how to make the game even more Phantasy Star-ish than before. We abandoned the 3D dungeons due to memory constraints. But in turn, I think we were able to do more fully realized enemy animations. What was the pressure like once you got down to brass tacks and started the development? Insane. We didn't want to sully the name of the original game, and received lots and letters and phone calls from fans that really added to the pressure. On top of that, if we focused too much on making the perfect game, we'd end up going over budget. At one point, we did receive orders from management to revise the design and development plan, so Sega could sell it cheaper, but we talked and convinced them we'd come up with something really good by the deadline. We said we'd already come so far, there was no turning back. Is it common for revisions to happen in the middle of a production? At Sega, once the green light has been given for the initial plan or concept, a project team is formed. That's when the basic parts of the game go from being a theoretical idea on paper to something real on the screen. At this point, we pause and ask some crucial questions. Does the game look too much like another company's? Is it easy to play? Frankly, you can see about 80% of the finished game's appeal at this point, and whether it will just be average or it will easily exceed that. In bad cases, we will sometimes even halt the development here. Managing directors Hideki Sato and Hisashi Suzuki, left and right. You pause it to revise the planning documents to make the game better, you mean? That's right. Although games that require too many revisions generally don't turn out very well. By the way, you said revise the planning documents, but technically that's not a 100% accurate description of things. There are some projects at Sega, for instance, that don't actually have planning documents. Sometimes the developers just keep working out their ideas until a game gradually takes shape. What's important, after all, isn't a specific process so much as the final result being fun. I see. Once that check is done, then is it an all-out push to the finish line? No. Once the game is more or less playable, we again do a quality check. In the case of Phantasy Star II, everything proceeded very smoothly. Well, relatively. Are there any other major hurdles after that? At that point, we're about 80% done. So usually at this point, we have a good estimate of when the game will go on sale. But with Phantasy Star II, by this point, we only announced that it was in production. And from there, it was just a race against time, I imagine. Sega. Yeah, exactly. Phantasy Star II was supposed to be 4 megabyte. Then at some point it expanded to 6. And the latter half of the development only had 10 or 12 people working on it. Of course, in technical terms as well, we didn't want to ruin the reputation of the first game or release anything that looked like a half-baked effort. And finally, the Master ROM is completed. Then the work is done? Not quite. It's a different department, but the debugging and packaging work still remains. Those are the last parts. After that, we put our faith in the finished software and quickly turned to production. Do you guys remember what happened with Phantasy Star II, though? There was a semiconductor shortage right when it was supposed to go on sale, and what a mess that caused. We really scrambled and put a lot of effort into securing an adequate supply of chips. Somehow or other, we made it. And from there, the game went on sale. First, we checked the games that were returned from the factory line. We didn't want to hand players a bad product and be put in a bad mood, so we carefully inspect every aspect of the product point by point. Sometimes games get damaged in transit though, but sadly, there's not much we can do about that. Wow, no wonder Sega is such a trusted company. It's kind of amazing that such a complex product, produced in such mass quantities, has no defects. Again, we feel that we can only announce and market our games once we deliver a product our users can trust 100%. And how did the announcement and marketing for Phantasy Star 2 go for Phantasy Star 2? We wanted to capitalize on the name value of Phantasy Star first and foremost. That's why we did some earlier soft PR in the form of the story contest we held for Phantasy Star 2. We also put a lot of effort into magazine features and ads to introduce players to the game. For the developers, what was it like to have the game introduced in magazines before it was finished? It was a big encouragement for us, as you can imagine, but sometimes there would be a time lag in our communications with the magazines, and game content and events we ultimately end up cutting would be featured by mistake. It's all in good spirit, though. For Phantasy Star 2, we also had that huge pressure on us. We were really happy that so many people were looking forward to the game, but we were acutely aware of it. CS Division Deputy Director Shigeo Kamata on the left, and Planning Division Director Kazutaka Yano on the right. What other kind of advertising did you do for Phantasy Star 2? Normally, we would advertise in game specific magazines like Beep, but this time we traded on the name value of Phantasy Star and aimed for a wider audience. We put out feelers with stuff like the story contest and even put ads in general magazines. Were you trying to tap into the audience that doesn't necessarily read game magazines, but would be interested in Phantasy Star II? That's right. We wanted to challenge ourselves with the general, unspecified masses, not just the subsection of them that comprises hardcore gamers and fans. If we can hit with that, it will be huge, and we believe Phantasy Star 2 is a game that could take us there. By the way, I noticed the setting for Phantasy Star 2 takes place on the same Algol system, this time on Motavia. Yeah, I know it sounds like a straight sequel when you say it like that, but it actually takes place 1,000 years later. The story is that the people of Motavia, who have become too used to peace, no longer know how to fight the biomonsters. Despair hangs over everyone's head. That sets the stage for the appearance of our hero, Eustace, Rolf in the English version, an agent of the Motavian government, and the several companions he meets along the way. This is a bit of a tangent, but did you do any PR marketing outside of the players to wholesalers and such? Yes, it's something that most of the general public isn't aware of, but we do a lot of PR work with the wholesaler merchants. In fact, we did more work than the usual there for Phantasy Star 2. For a 6 megabit game, we also lowered the price as much as we could. I don't think we've ever had as difficult time setting the price for a game as we do with Phantasy Star 2. Actually. In fact, I'm not sure we actually made a profit off it. But by the same token, a really good response for Phantasy Star 2 would mean a lot of hardware sales for the Mega Drive, right? Yeah, that's definitely true. It's always best if you can create a flagship game that really leads hardware sales. I want to play X game, so I'm going to buy Y hardware. Without that formula, you won't see much growth in hardware sales. We won't lose to our rivals. Finally, how did it feel when Phantasy Star 2 was finally released? From the sales side, we were happy we had been able to put a sequel worthy of the first game, and one that all the players loved. For the developers, they were relieved that it was, in fact, a hit. They had been able to include the things they had wanted to include in the first game, and fans were pleased. It felt like we had created something that would now be able to stand on its name or reputation alone. Well, we would have liked to include 3D dungeons, but we'd like to bring them back in the future. Will that be in Phantasy Star 3 then? Ha, no, that's not what I meant. I mean, the response to Phantasy Star 2 has been very big, and there have been some voices hoping for a sequel. We're thinking we'll do some planning soon, but nothing has progressed past that yet. How about the player response? How has it been? Since the day of release, the phones at Sega have been ringing non-stop, and with each passing day, it gets more crazy. Almost all of them are people saying, "Help! I'm stuck here and I don't know what to do." Weirdly enough, they all seem to get stuck at the same place. To help them, we've made sort of a question and answer manual to help answer those questions. About a month later, we started getting calls from the people saying, "I did it!" Wait, they actually called to report to you they figured it out? Yeah, those calls always make us so happy. It's one of the joys I don't think you can get in a normal line of work. It's because of experiences like that we're able to gather up our strength for the next development, even though we know it's going to be another challenge. Here is the winner of the story contest Sega had for Phantasy Star 2, Fumiko Sato. Over 2,000 entries. Unfortunately, her entry was untitled, so we have no idea what ideas she might have contributed. However, Beep did publish her reaction. When I heard I received the grand prize, I was honestly more surprised than anything else. In addition to my story ideas, I think it was good that I included a number of other suggestions for the setting of Phantasy Star 2. Yeah, it's funny because I think people don't understand that people still gave feedback back in the day, but it was just much different than it was. And it was also I don't know, I guess a lot less intense in the sense that like you were never going to get millions and stuff like that. Um, that being said, the fact that Japanese gamers are getting stuck, it makes even more sense why they released it in the US with the 110-page hint book, because you know RPGs have been huge in Japan since Dragon Quest, and even before Dragon Quest, Western RPGs like Wizardry and Ultima were quite popular in Japan. And if they couldn't figure the game out, then us dumb Americans weren't going to figure it out. And yes, that's the hint book I'm going to use. That's just two separate scans of it. They both have notes in it, which are really funny. And it's from two separate people, too. But anyway, here's another kind of retrospective interview on Phantasy Star II. 1993 developer interview. Short interview from 1993 talks about various aspects of the development of Phantasy Star II, including the reason for its terrifically complex dungeons. It was conducted just before the release of Phantasy Star IV, probably as part of the promotion for that game. This interview was originally featured in the World of Phantasy Star art book published by Sega. Ironically, this is the US cover art. um, so there's Miki Morimoto, game designer, Toru Yoshida, graphic designer, and there's actually another interview with Toru Yoshida from the collected Mega Drive's work that I'll be reading from right after this interview. Rieko Kodama, character designer, um, and Kodama is closely associated with the Phantasy Star series because she designed like not only the characters Phantasy Star 2, but she was also like the character and basically like the graphics designer for Phantasy Star 1. So she kind of like created the she did a lot for like the world building of Phantasy Star 1 basically. Um she's also known for either directing or producing. I think it's actually directing Skies of Arcadia. So Phantasy Star and Skies of Arcadia are the two things she's most well known for in Sega. She was basically a lifelong Sega employee. She unfortunately passed away pretty recently. Um, the details aren't really known, out of respect of privacy for her family. But she was basically a lifelong Sega employee, and she did a lot of work for Sega games. Like she worked on Altered Beast. She also worked on like the backgrounds for an upcoming game in season 3, Shadow Dancer. So she definitely was like very important for the development of a lot of Sega games. And there's Kotaro Hayashida, game designer. Yoshida. In the beginning, the protagonist was actually Lutz. Um, I have to explain this a little bit because if you're familiar with like the English names from Phantasy Star and you're not super familiar with the Phantasy Star series, Lutz was translated to Noah in the original Phantasy Star 1 for the Master System. I think part of that is because Tonka was handling the distribution of the Sega Master System in America, and I think because Tonka's an American toy company, they just decided to really localize the name for like American audiences. Anyway, but Yuji Naka thought it'd be a bad idea. In the original character design for Lutz from Phantasy Star, his personality was very weak and undefined, so Yuji thought Lutz would be a bland protagonist for Phantasy Star 2, so he just used him as is. That's why we decided to change it from Lutz to Yushisu, or Rolf in English. Once we decided to change protagonist, Chieko Aoki also changed the story substantially. In the earlier story, Lutz goes back in time through a warp and helps Alice from the original. I think Chieko changed it because she didn't like the idea of overwriting and erasing the past events of the first game like that. Good call. So she switched all the scenarios around, and I remember certain events on Motavia got removed too. And IDOC is correct. Phantasy Star 4 on release was $99.99. Um, Hayashida. Phantasy Star 2 was originally planned for the Sega Master System as a direct sequel to Phantasy Star. Later, it was decided it would be released on the Mega Drive. So we had to work all our plans. Despite that huge change, we only had half a year to finish the game, a real oppressive schedule. And of course, we had to complete the debugging in that time frame. So when you consider the normal schedule for an RPG, Phantasy Star 2 was created in an incredibly short period. The only reason we made it was because of Yuji Naka. So as much of a controversial figure Yuji Naka is, the one thing that everyone can confirm, at least back in the days of like the Master System and the Genesis, was that Yuji Naka was an incredible programmer. There's a lot of reasons to criticize him and dislike him, but the one consensus does seem to be that he was a really accomplished programmer back in the day. Anyway, because of the double pressure of those time restrictions and the challenge of working with the new hardware, I think it was nearly impossible to revise the things we wanted to revise. And here's some concept art describing one of the deleted events Yoshida mentions, involving a scapegoating and genocide of the native Motavians. You can read more in the link. Oh, speaking of that, here's a link to the interview. Boom. Connections to Phantasy Star. Yoshida. The descendants of Alice, Tyrone, Odin in English, and Meow from the original Phantasy Star all appear in Phantasy Star 2. It's not explicitly mentioned in the game, but in the backstory, the pirate Tyler is Tyrone's descendant. Rolf is the descendant of Alice. Also, at the Skier space station where you first arrive on Dezo, all those cats are the many descendants of Meow. We were thinking that after the events of Phantasy Star, Meow's kittens all become the pets of the people who are living there. In other world, those people all died, and only the cats remain. Our original plan was that one of the cats would join your party, but we couldn't get the graphics in the battle scene to look right with a cat in your party, so we abandoned the idea. Dezo is a planet shrouded in mystery, so when you first step off your ship and encounter all those cats in Skier, it piques the player's curiosity. I don't actually know what the total development length of this game, but it sounds like from the 1989 developer interview, it was about a year. So basically, half of that was kind of spent planning for the Master System, then it was, I guess, diverted to the Genesis. Missing items. Yoshida, by the second half of the game, you've probably accumulated a lot of Meseta, right? We came with 2 high-priced items for sale as a way for players to spend it. If I remember, they were the Habsby and Statue of Tyrone. I've forgotten what the statue did, but if you used Habsby, it would say, Habsby head feels hard. Unfortunately, we had to delete these due to memory limitations. Morimoto, wasn't there also a hidden item called Master System? It was probably a vestigial reminder that Phantasy Star 2 was originally planned for the Master System. So this is the Japanese cover art for Phantasy Star 2 by Hitoshi Yoneda. And it's really awesome. Yeah. Challenges of the development. Kodama. We had 3 different people working on the graphics for Phantasy Star 2. The mechanical monsters were all done by Yoshida, and we realized that it would be problematic if each person's character designs were different. So we consulted with each other and harmonized our designs as we went. So it didn't turn out to be much of a problem after all. I will say this, that is very impressive because the graphics are pretty consistent for the enemies throughout the game. Hayashida. I think other companies will usually separate their graphics artists. So one person is doing character designs and another is doing backgrounds. They train new employees that way too, but with our team, every member could also do graphics. Having such a multi-talented team, for us, it was more like we divided the team into main graphics and sub-graphics roles. Another issue was related to the dungeons, which were created by a new employee. Because he was new, he put a ton of effort into the maps and kind of overdid it. The game became more about the complex dungeons than anything else. I think you really see that on the Desolate dungeons. They were really well done, and when Chieko Aoki saw them, she didn't want all the new employees' work to be for naught. So we ended up using those maps, albeit with some mixed feelings. They contributed to the latter half of the game being unbalanced. So this is about the ending of Phantasy Star 2. I don't think this interview spoils it, so it's fine. Um, Yoshida, regarding the lives of the characters after the ending of Phantasy Star 2, I'm not sure I can say we never thought about it, but it's more to the point we wanted players to be free to imagine it for themselves. But we did have some ideas as developers, so you do see some events in later games that tie back to Phantasy Star 2. For example, the statues of the 8 heroes who fought for Algol in the warrior temples of Phantasy Star 4, or the town where people know of the legend of Alice. Well, for the details, I'll leave that for you to enjoy when Phantasy Star 4 comes out. There was a contest in 1988 that's mentioned in the 1989 developer interview, and this is the winner right here. It is wild how different the development process is compared to back then. But if there's one thing that I've learned, like reading all these interviews and reading books from developers and stuff like that, the one common theme in both modern game development and game development back in the day is sadly crunch. It's so bad. It is not it as bad as it is these days. It was no better back in the day. And this is both American dev and Japanese dev. It's not exclusive to either one. Yeah. It shouldn't be a thing, but it is a thing for games. Anyway, we have an interview with Toru Yoshida from the Complete Mega Drive Works. And there we go. Artist Toru Yoshida's early career would be defined by the series, Phantasy Star, beginning with Sega's flagship RPG for the Mega Drive, Phantasy Star II. The pioneering game's ambitious scope, meaningful narrative, and emphasis on social commentary helped make it one of the best regarded examples of the genre. Emerging from a role as a map and enemy designer for the Mega Drive launch title, Super Thunderblade, we all gotta start somewhere. Yoshida carved out the game's familiar 2D top down navigation style and created its devious AI antagonist, Mother Brain. For Phantasy Star The End of the Millennium, or Phantasy Star 4, the final 16 bit installment in the series, he took on a directorial role, creating a title that achieved comparable acclaim and is considered among the all time best releases on the console. Between 1996 and 2005, Yoshida turned his attention to the successful Sakura Taisen Sakura Wars series before becoming a design team leader at Sega Networks. This interview is decently long, so I'm going to skip over the stuff about his history and more about the focus on Phantasy Star 2, although the majority of the interview is about Phantasy Star 2. So there is one question asking, were you a fan of role-playing games? And he says, I loved role-playing games. I'm not good at games that require reflexes, so I played RPGs all the time. Fair. As an artist, what did you want to achieve with Phantasy Star 2? I was still new at Sega when I enjoyed the development of Phantasy Star 2, so there was very little that I could decide independently. I had to follow instructions from my team leader. Since the monster animations in the game were more complicated than in the first Phantasy Star, I was just doing my utmost to get through all the work I was being given. Question: did you see the Mega Drive's limited color palette as a problem, or did it help you to focus your creativity? Answer: it was my first time creating game graphics, so I didn't think about it. But as I got used to my role, I longed to have a bigger color palette to work with, as it was hard to create faithful representations of scanned artwork. It was a dream when we began developing for the Sega Saturn, which had a much wider range of colors. The end of Phantasy Star II is famously ambiguous. Do you know why it was so mysterious? The reasons for the ending can only be explained by the lead planner, Chieko Aoki. The ending endures vividly in many people's memories uh, of the game precisely because it is so ambiguous. Why do you think the character Nei became so popular? I don't really know why Nei caught the imagination of players. Perhaps it was because she was non human or a younger sister like character. Is there a secret to creating great characters with 2D sprites? A secret? I would love to know if one exists. It's always hard to create a memorable character, even if you really strive for it, which I did every time. Interesting roles for female characters were scarce at the time, yet the Phantasy Star series notably bucked this trend. How did this come about? Again, this was largely down to Chieko Aoki. I don't know much about the reaction from female gamers to Phantasy Star 2, but I remember there was a positive response in the games press as a whole about the portrayal of female characters in the Phantasy Star universe. How do you design great environments for 2D RPGs? I was using pixel graphics at the time, and constantly thinking about the best ways to depict three-dimensional landscapes within the constraints of the system. I was obsessed with using parallax scrolling in Phantasy Star 2, but this made it hard for players to see the action, which made me realize that it was a mistake. After all, it is vital for players to easily understand what is happening on the screen. And it's talking a bit about Phantasy Star 4, so I'm going to skip ahead to some of the later questions, which is one is, do you have a favorite character from the series? It has to be Nei, because she was present from the very start of my journey. My favorite moment would be the ending of Phantasy Star, The End of the Millennium, which I am deeply attached to. Were there any characters or locations that you had to cut from the games? There are 4 or 5 monsters that had to be cut from Phantasy Star 2. Although the artwork had been completed, capacity limitations meant they were not included. In the fourth game, there was also planned to show another Dark Falls in snake form, but this was rejected because there was nowhere for him to appear in the story. And the final question being, what are your fondest memories of developing the Phantasy Star series? When I first started working on Phantasy Star 2, I had just joined Sega. Time passed very quickly, and every day presented new challenges. It made me very happy to see the characters I designed become part of this fantasy world. Phantasy Star, The End of the Millennium, felt very much like a handcrafted game because we were a small team, I had big responsibilities. I had to deal with many difficult situations, but now these are fond memories. Even after all this time, I am satisfied with the games we created, as I feel a strong affinity to the characters and the stories. I don't exactly know how her name is pronounced. I just call her Nay, because even if it's like Nate, yeah, it doesn't really sound that different. So, and also worth mentioning that Chieko Aoki, who has been mentioned a few times in these interviews, in this book, the footnote says an instrumental member of the Phantasy Star development team, Chieko Aoki established the game's story world, narrative, and dialogue. She directed Phantasy Star 2 and then joined the development of Ghosts and Goblins before leaving the games industry shortly after. That's a little unfortunate, but Phantasy Star 2 is a pretty good legacy to have. And so it shows some of the characters, as you can see on the right page, and then there's a little footnote on the left saying who they are. And I'm going to mention them because it actually mentions both their Japanese names and their English names afterwards. So on the top is uh, Kynes Jian or Josh Kane, uh, Anna Amirsky or no, sorry, Amia Amirsky or Anna Zirsky. Second one. Third is Huey Reen or Hugh Thompson, and then on the bottom is Shilika Leviana or Sheer Gold. I do think a lot of the names were changed, not necessary for localization reasons, but just because there's a there's a 4 character limit for the names in the game in the American version. And like if there's like a 4 character limit in Japanese, you can still get more out of those characters than you can with just English letters. Yeah. But anyway, that's the lore of the game and all the interviews. I do love going over these. I think it's good fun, and it's good to know the context of the game and how they were created and the thoughts that went into them, and what couldn't go into them. And I am almost ready to start, but as you can see, I'm low on water. I'll do that. But while I get my water, how about I hit you with a box office comparison so you can soak in how Americanized the box art was. Hey, thanks PMC about the polls. Um, yeah, as beautiful as the box art is for the Japanese version, yeah, there's definitely a lack of pants on Nei. If that's supposed to be Nei, I assume it is, even though she has a gun, and I don't think she can equip guns in game. And yeah, in the U.S. box art's like, we have eliminated all traces of anime and manga. Successful. And it has a crusty old founding fathers looking dude on the cover with a gun, and they looking like who's that person from Star character from Star Trek, Deanna Troy? Kind of looks like her. So yeah, I'd say the box art is all American sci-fi. Also, if you want a better look at the Japanese box art, let me see if I have the page memorized. I do. Awesome. So what's really cool about this book, the collected works of the Mega Drive and Genesis, it also has there you go. I think you can all see that clearly. It is really beautiful cover art. Although I understand why they changed it for the US, at least the back cover. The front cover though definitely should have remained. And obviously the Japanese box art looks better. But yeah, if you're into Sega Genesis, Mega Drive, definitely recommend checking out the uh, collected works of the Mega Drive, Sega Genesis. I can't remember the exact name of the book, but anyway, you can get it from readonlymemory.com. Definitely worth it. And let's see. So with all that being said, oh wait, I got to put in. Is the box art all American? I'm rusty. Yes, nothing more than a crusty old founding father's ass looking white guy. All right, there we go. And with that being said, I think I am finally ready to play the video game. Yes, I do occasionally play video games on this channel. And let's see. So before I like start the game, don't worry, we are getting into the game, but I want to show you the patch that I'm going to be playing on because it's really just a quality of life. It's two quality of life patches actually. One is kind of a necessity for photosensitive people, and another one kind maybe helps out photosensitive people a little, but really just speeds up the battles a bit. So I'm gonna show the unpatched version. So if you're like really photosensitive, you might not want to see the battles in this one. Yeah. So here's the original game. Those are. Yeah. And good, I have the cropping correct. And, cool. So we're just gonna start a game real fast. We're gonna go with the default, which is roll, and not usis or yushisu. Alright, I'm just gonna try to get through as fast as possible because this is not the version of the game I'm going to be playing. I'm gonna be playing a patched version, as I said. And this is really just to give the context of why I am playing this patched version. I'm not even gonna get an item or buy anything. I'm just gonna go straight out and I gotta get Nay. Okay, there she is. Bum, bum, bum. Music's so cheerful. We're not even bothering with that nonsense. Oh, okay, there we go. We're gonna get in a battle. Because all I have to do is get hit. So when I get in a battle, you're gonna see why I'm using a patch for this game. And then I will actually play in the patched version. Okay, so yeah, just fun. Yeah, so if you don't equip Nay with anything, she starts off with no weapon, so she actually can't fight. Okay, if you are photosensitive, you might want to close your eyes for this, because they are missing. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Every time you get hit, the screen just obnoxiously flashes red 3 times. Also, when you hit an enemy, the enemy flashes red. Yeah. So, that's why we're going to be using a patch that eliminates all that. There's also one thing I'm going to do before I like get into the game for serious, because I just need to see if saves work in the game. They should, but I've had 1 or 2 games in the past fail with their saves on a flash cart, so I just want to make sure before I really invest time in this game that like the save for sure works. So yeah, wow, that red flash is bad. We're not going to play with it. Oh, does Phantasy Star 4 have that too? Then I'll have to see if there's a patch for that. But yeah, this patch cuts out all the red flashing. Oh man, that was bad. I saw it for like a short while, and wow, that sucked. Okay. But yeah. But now, for real, I won't, because like, unless it's really bad. I mean, that is pretty bad. And there's no way around it. Like, for example, Truxton has that stuff. And I don't think I really penalized it for that. I was on the border of a low 7, high 6 anyway. That might have tipped it over, but there's honestly other things that tipped it over too, like Gradius Syndrome. So no, I'm not going to consider that too strongly, because like, game development back in the day was just not really good. about photosensitivity. And also there's a patch for it, so I don't have to really factor that in anyway. I have actually played through the entirety of Phantasy Star 4. And yeah, Phantasy Star 4's last dungeon, I like it, but it's also a lot to look at. Alright, so... And... We're gonna go in 3, 2, 1, and we're finally gonna start a game! Well then, let's begin the game. I am haunted by nightmares every night. A young girl is battling a giant demon. I am close by, but can't move or speak. All I can do is watch while the demon keeps striking at the girl. Just as she is fighting for her life, I awake. I awake in my room, dimly lit by the early dawn. I am filled with an incredible sadness and fear. I am Rolf, here, an agent here in Paseo, the capital of Mota. I shake my head as if to scatter the remnants of the dream. I have no time to worry like a child about nightmares in this modern age, especially with the mother brain planning and controlling all aspects of the environment. I open my window and take a deep breath of fresh air. It seems to wash away the bad feelings left by my dream. Oh yeah, the modern trucks did. Maybe I should check it out sometime. Good morning, Rolf. How are you? Almost 2 years have passed since you started working for me, the commander of Mota. What I'm going to ask you to do will be the toughest job you have ever done, but it is vital to the future of Mota. As you know, Algo has been brought up by Mother Brain. My work as a commander has been to smoothly promote the plans of Mother Brain. I had believed that Mother Brain never makes mistakes, but those monsters all over Mota are just too much. We must find out by ourselves why those monsters were born and how to bring them under control. Rolf, your mission is to go to the Biosystems lab and get the recorder. If we look into the data, we can figure out how the Biosystems lab ended up making those monsters. Rolf, I hope from the bottom of my heart that you come back safely with the recorder. We'll see each other again. After going home and preparing for the trip, Nay seemed worried. Nay, I have to leave for a while. Nay stared at me for a moment. I remembered when we first met, she looked at me in just the same way. That was 7 months ago. Because she was the product of a mixture of human cells and those of a biomonster. She was an outcast from society. You were still small when we first met, but now you can take care of yourself. I'm going on a dangerous journey. Too dangerous for you. I worry about you like you were my sister. Still, Nay stood in this doorway to keep me from leaving. Please, Rolf, take me with you. I'll do anything for you. I took my sack and started to go, but Nay still blocked the way. I had no choice. I decided to let her come with me. And now I finally have control. So, the party I plan using... Well, actually, I shouldn't even spoil the party that I'm going to use for that in the game, because it spoils a twist in the game. But, what I will do... And this is probably really risky, but I want to do it anyway, is I'm going to buy 2 steel bars for Nay, because I just want her to hit stuff really hard. Because she can dual wield. Use it or lose it. Later, Ace. I just love how, like, edgy they made that person. Yeah, now I have attack. Now I have more attack. Yep, I'm finally starting the game. We're done with the lore and the reviews and the ads, which honestly I think is good fun, and you all seem to enjoy it too, which I very much appreciate. Okay, normally I like a telepipe and or escape pipe, but I don't have the money for that, so I'm gonna buy 2 monomates basically. And if I get hit by poison, then I reset or something. I don't know. Yes. Second monomite, yes. So I just want to test one thing, and that is I'm going to go to the save person, who is somewhere around here. Channeling area. Hunters are the coolest guys. They really are strong and so dependable. I used to work at the Biosystems Lab, which is on the other side of the lake. Is this the save? I think it is. Yes, this is the save. No, there's a teleport station. Okay, for 60 Meseta, I can... Yep, well then later, coming in later, because I have no money. Why should I work for a living? I like this kid. Capitalism hater detected. Well, you are armed and look so brave. But if you don't keep your weapons in good shape, they are worth nothing. Which is funny, because there's no, like, repairing weapons in this game. If you have money, you can always get your body cloned at the clone lab. Yeah, the clone lab is how you, like, revive your character, so to speak. They say that if you go to the North Bridge, a guy named Darren will rob you of your money. Okay. I just want to test and see if saves work for this game. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Yes. Let's save them under 1. Let's name it after the challenge. Sega 700. So... Sega. By the way, one thing that's really funny about the US manual of this game is that all the file names are like Joe, Bob, and Tom and stuff like that. No, I'm not going to fetch more. Okay, goodbye then. Okay, so I'm going to turn off the console and then turn it back on, and hopefully I won't need to use an emulator or anything like that. But this is going to be the test, because I don't want to like get really far in the game, save my game, and it turns out all my like data is erased. Oh no, that's season 1. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, the dungeons are quite a thing in this game. In fact, I need to get my dungeon maps up. So, for those of you who don't know, I am going to be using the hint book for this game. And I think I saved it to my computer. So yeah, if you want to follow along, go right ahead. Oh, yep, I got it. Yeah, there it is. Nice. I don't really need to use it yet. But I might as well have the file up. Okay, so check the backup data check complete. Continue. That's not a good sign. I'm gonna test one more time. Maybe I chose the wrong ROM? Blah, 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 blah. I already read through all this stuff. Blah, 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 blah. So, I had this issue with my flashcard when it came to Shining in the Darkness. I didn't know if it was exclusive to that game or an issue that I've been having with my flashcard recently. I don't know what causes this problem, because I'm pretty sure if I went to Super Highlight, which is a game I've played on my flashcard for like practice reasons, let's just like buy one thing just to like record some progress. Okay, buy a steel she's gonna be the one who holds it. No, I didn't want another one. And now we're gonna equip it. Sure, on her right. Okay, let's see if... Again, if worst comes to worst, I'll just play this on emulator. But I would prefer to play this on console if I can. Let's just put them under 2. I'll put them under my knee. Sure. Okay, so let's try resetting the game first and see if it's still there. Okay, it's still there. Now let's turn off the game and then see if it still exists. In worst case scenario, I'll set this up on emulator, but I'd rather play on the console if I can manage it. Check the backup data. Data check complete. Please be there. Oh, that's not a good sign. That is really not a good sign. I definitely chose... this means something has to get fixed in my flash card, or there's just something about saved data for certain games on the flash card. That kind of sucks. Which is weird, because I played Phantasy Star 1 on this same flash card, because it do Master System games, and I had no issues with it. Let me just check one more thing. It might be an issue with the patch ROM. Okay, I swear I had stuff registered. I think it might be more an issue with my flash cart, and I don't know what it is. It started happening with Shining in the Darkness. Let me just double check, because I know I'm pretty sure I have data saved in the Japanese ROM. I know it's not a flash cart save state issue, which I'll just enable for now. Yeah, save. Yeah, this is like the save data. Yeah, that's weird. All of this is saving. Oh, okay. I don't know. Well, there is save data. I don't know what it's doing. Copy file to SRAM. Copy SRAM to file. I can try that. I don't think it's going to do much. Because I know I've played the Japanese version of this game and created, because I was messing around with some stuff earlier. I'm using the Mega Drive X7. Game start. Yeah, okay. This works, so it might be an issue exclusive to the game, or the fact that it's a patched cart. I will say this, I'm not going to play it unpatched, because frankly, the red flashing is super unpleasant. Also, I should actually just reset the game time while this is going on. I should also reset this while it's going on, because there's not really much game to start anyway. So yeah, and this, yeah, I mean it's a started game, but yeah, and I can load the state, and yep, it loads to here. So yeah, flash car is fine. Sorry about the sounds. I'm just testing stuff right now. Okay, so that's not So it's definitely. I don't think it's an issue with the flash card itself. The only game that I've had with this issue is Shining in the Darkness, and that game was not patched. So I'm either going to need a cart for that game, or I'm going to have to play an emulator, which is fine. And again, I can play this game on emulator, but it's going to take me probably about 5 to 10 minutes just to set up a proper window for the emulator and everything. Let me go to recently played. Actually, I can't see whether that's the correct version or not. So, yeah, so I don't think it's going to fix anything. Yeah, okay. I have one theory on how to deal with this, and I'm going to test and see if this theory works. And hopefully it will. But this is going to be the last try at, like, quote-unquote starting the game. Yeah, but it's the Mega Drive X7 is what I'm using. Yeah, it could be an issue with the ROM itself. Or just the fact that this is patched. But yeah, the fact that, like, both my flash card save on Super High Light, the Japanese version, and the fact that I just had a save there, period, saved, and that was like 7 years ago, means, yeah, there's nothing wrong with the flash. I don't think there's anything wrong with the flash card itself. Should not need to have the reset after saving. I did hit the reset button after saving. In fact, the test that I'm going to do is more like this. Okay, so yeah, just buy this. Just so I have like some tiny bit of progress. Equip it. Again, if I have to play an emulator, not the end of the world. It bugs me more for non-RPG games, to be frank. Okay, so we are gonna save the game. No job. The theme of 2026. Let's just put in the first slot. Sega, I guess. Okay, so yes, I will adventure some more. Okay. We're gonna make a save state, and now we're gonna go back to the menu and then see if it saves this way, one way or another. And if it doesn't save this way, I'm just gonna have to play an emulator. Okay, it's still there. Now the question is, if I turn off my game now, will it be fine? This means I have to remember to, like, be very specific about how I do this for the data to save. And please, all of you remind me, because I don't want to lose hours of progress playing this game. That's not a good sign. So, it looks like what I can do is I can use the flashcard save state to, like, save the game. But I can't actually save the game. I only get one save state, so I'll do that for now. Let's see if it works. Should I just reset the game then? I should probably reset the game just yeah. I should probably just reset the game at this point to just like yeah, hope I don't get soft lock exactly. That is extra. Oh, it's because I loaded the save. That's so weird. Okay, yeah. So my save state will work. Getting the game to save. That's so ridiculous, dude. Okay. Yeah, always save state after saving game, basically. Yeah, exactly. Now that I reset the timer, I feel like I should restart the game, so to speak. Yeah, save state and back to menu every game save. Exactly. It is really weird. It is really weird. But anyway, let's restart this game, and hopefully it'll be fine. And if my progress is erased in the first session, yeah, that would suck. But it wouldn't be the end of the world. But if it does get erased again in the first session, then, like, I'm just going to end up playing this game in emulator. It's fine. This isn't a game that requires, like, reflexes or that where input lag is a thing. In fact, it is super highlight where that matters, and I have 2 carts of that game, so it doesn't matter. In fact, I even have a box copy sitting right in front of me. Alright, 3, 2. Oh wait, no, I gotta do the name, which I'm just gonna go to the default. Boom. I'm not gonna read this again. I read it in my first attempt of the game. I've had nightmares every night. Young girl, blah, blah, blah. Bad dream, nightmare. I wake, incredible sadness. I'm in Mota, Paseo. Mother brain is controlling the climate and everything. I'm going to my commanding officer. How are you? Almost 2 years have passed since you started working for me. The Mota. Toughest job, blah, blah, blah. Mother brain. Now we gotta get the recorder. Monsters too much, blah, blah, under control. Go to the biosystems lab and the recorder. Wubbo musics, yeah. After going home and preparing for the trip, they seem to worry. And I have to leave for a while. They stare at me for a moment, blah, blah. And I take her in my party. Woo! Okay, now we can play as normal. So I'm going to do something probably stupid, but I want to do it. And I'm going to buy 2 steel bars for Nay so she can just kill stuff really fast. This means I only get 2 healing items and no antidotes or telepipes or anything like that. But yeah, so basically I have to, after I save my game in-game, I need to make a save state in the flashcard. Just to be extra safe. And then when I quit the game, I need to make sure to go out to the menu. It's kind of ridiculous that I have to do this. No. Wubbo musics. Okay, cool. I didn't know you were a Phantasy Star fan, Zost. Alright, cool. We're gonna get to a save point. And maybe I'll talk to some people. Oh, interesting. 9 points, 12 points. Experience in storage. What number? Yes. Okay, cool. Paseo, the capital of Mota. Is this the central building? I forgot. It is. The central tower in Paseo, the capital of Mota. Where to? Library. Welcome to the library. I understand that Rolf and the others are going to the Biosystems labs to get the recorder. If you want to find out about something here, please choose a file. Oh wow, this is a lot. Oh, let's go to the history. Mota used to be a desert. It was a desert in Phantasy Star 1, and this game takes 1,000 years after Star 2. But since Mother Brain was brought in, Mota has become a green planet. Development was made based on meticulous plans. Mother Brain created things like the Biosystems Lab, climate control, climatrol, etc. Is there anything else you'd like to know? Nah, I know everything. I'll read it later. We will get lore later. Yeah. I've heard very mixed things about Phantasy Star 3. Okay, the control tower, which means the Mother Brain and everything in one network. I'm going to go in here again because there's a room. How are you doing? Is there something I can do for you? Oh, good. This game has storage. Good, 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 good. Okay. This game has pretty limited inventory space. Thanks to the Biosystem Lab, Mota flourished. Yeah, Battles music in 3 is a thing. So I've barely played 3, but my impression is that first off, you walk super slowly, and secondly, the game has a lot of cool concepts, but not all of them necessarily come together for a coherent game. North River, man named Darum. Something you'd like to know about Mota, you should go to the library at the central tower. Kind of peaceful. I'm glad I moved here from Arima. In fact, we're going to go to Arima next. Oh my god, Nea is so dainty in how she walks. I think Darum is like here? No, he's not there. But basically, he's blocking your access to a future area. Oh, yeah, Darum's here. I've seen that face. He tried to kill Ney 7 months ago. This is bad news. Let's go back for a while. Incredible localization. But yeah, that's Darum. Also, the quest to get him out of the way is incredibly fucked up. I don't know why they decided that was a good idea to go for that. Okay. Okay, so I have to change the strategy because order A to actually fight. Now she will fight. That's fine. That's whatever. Victorious, 5 experience points, receive 15 Meseta. Okay, cool. Let's fight. Oh, can't you just hit the same? Oh my god, why do I miss? Okay, isn't this game so much better without the red flashing? Experience points, 18 Meseta. Okay, cool. I don't think I'm too low, and I'm pretty close to the next town, if I'm not mistaken. I probably should have looked at the map to exactly where the next town is. I want to hit the poisoner, but the game... Oh my god, the game just doesn't let me choose. Or I could have chosen, but... Okay, strategy. Order. Oh my god, okay. He can hit the fire ant. No, oh, I meant for her to hit the... Oh, whatever. Ooh, that's very bad. Does paralysis last Past combat. Okay, good. She gained a level. State. Okay, good. She doesn't seem to be poisoned. Okay, good. This is the next town. So this game has a really weird thing where, like, you can unlock more characters in your party, but you have to go back to your control tower or your home to do so. So I've unlocked another character in my party, but I have to go back home to do so. Yeah. Why in the world did you come to Arima? This is such a horrible place. Thanks. That's quite the welcome. Well, first off, let's... Welcome to the Clone Lab. So who would you like to have returned to you? No one, because I'm good. Love what Phantasy Star 3 wants to be. I know Dino really likes Phantasy Star 3, but he really likes every game. I know, the hideout of those scoundrels is at a building in Sure. I don't even know where Sure is. The scoundrels must have 2 more dynamite sticks. Unless we take them away, another town will be destroyed. I hear those bad guys very cautious and keep their stuff in a locked container. I'm eventually going to want a dagger or a sword. Alright, I looked up a equipment guide for this game because, like, you know, old games don't tell you anything about their equipment. Can Rolf dual-wield weapons? Because if so, I'm just going to go full aggro. Out. Jesus! Those who are left here are just the powerless, who are only waiting to die. That's definitely the optimism we need these days. Yeah, if you can lay off on the semantics of it all. I don't know, it's just... I just want to kind of chill out and enjoy the game. Rolf can dual-wield knives. Okay. Okay. 2 knives for Rolf is great. Got it. Okay, cool. The only thing I'm going to request people not spoil is the big plot twist. I think it's about a third of the way through the game. I'm sure most of you already know it, but there's going to be at least a few people who probably don't know it. Okay, so that's like my status. I'm wearing a knife. So basically, I can wear 2 daggers as Rolf. Or equip 2 daggers, is what you're saying. But I can only have 1 sword. And if I look at the equipment, the guide game FAQs, Phantasy Star II, game FAQs, walkthrough. Okay. Oh no. I went too far. In the equipment guide. Yeah, so that's 8 attack, 1 defense, and a sword is... Oh, it's way more attack, but I get to at least attack twice with the dagger. So, there's that. And also, it's cheaper. Oh, wait. Not what I meant to do. I do have to say, I do like the town music. Those scoundrels always come from the east. Scoundrels 2 more dynamite sticks. I mean... Have come to this count. Darum tired tame, could have lived a happy life. Oh, that's why Darum's like protecting that area. May I help you? Heal. It will cost 20 Meseta to care for you. Yeah, that's fine, because that heals both of them. No. Yeah, I mean, you can tell Carowin in this game. Scoundrels, little kid. Darum is not a bad guy. The reason he became violent is that his daughter Tame was kidnapped. Okay, gotta get her back. This is when we use the guide. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I need to return to Paseo. First dungeon is Sure. Okay, so it's up in that corner. I see where it is. Okay, I don't know exactly how to get there, but it's all the way in the northeast corner. Got it. And again, if you all want to follow along, I'm using this hint book because it's what came packaged with the game. And honestly, it sounds like I'm gonna need it, and I'm already appreciating its presence. Yeah. I think that's both good and bad, iDoc, for the standard tropes being upended. Yeah, just fight. It kind of sucks you can't specify which enemy of the group you're hitting. Oh, they hit so hard. Okay. Don't die, don't die, don't die, don't die, don't die, don't die, don't die. Okay, cool. Yeah, I feel like the game would be a much worse experience without the hint book. It says a lot that, like, all the Japanese players were, like, calling the Sega hit line. And they even had, like, a Q&A guidebook and everything. No. Man, those frogs are so scary. Can I save my game here, or do I have to go all the way back to Paseo? I still do not regret my double twin bar strategy. Is this the data, or is it... No, that's the teleporter. Which I can't afford, and I probably don't want to use anyway, because I want to save some money for equipment, and you really don't get that much money from fights, which is one reason why this game is so grindy. Can't go that way. But yeah, I want to go somewhere northeast of here to get to... Sure. Or maybe I have to... I need to explore more to really see where the first dungeon is. Okay. But anyway, I hope you all appreciate the lack of red flashing in this game, because I sure am. It would be so stinky. I remember... I think it was a little grindy. Not as grindy as this game, but Phantasy Star IV definitely had some grinding. Hey, Mystery Funhouse, thanks for the raid. I guess Mythical and I were talking about... What game were we talking about, even? I don't even remember. He was like, I want to raid. So, thank you for the raid. We're just chilling out and playing some Phantasy Star II. We figured out how to save the game, because that's actually a bit complicated with this patched ROM, unfortunately. And why do I have a patched ROM? Because if I don't play on a patched ROM, the game will just flash red every time I'm hit. And that is extremely unpleasant and makes it unwatchable for anyone with any sort of photosensitivity issues. But yeah, we're just grinding. We're just getting some money. Yeah, I do like the sci-fi aesthetic, and even though the American cover art is not as good as the Japanese one, it is... oh my god, this is kind of tedious how this works. State? Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, 4 is generally the fan favorite, from what I've heard. Of the original 4 on console. People generally like 1. I played through 1. I liked it. Anyway, for those of you just joining me, I am doing a challenge where I'm going through every single official US Genesis release, along with a few Mega Drive releases to make it the Sega 700. How much money do I have? Do I have like 100 now? No, I need to know my states. Okay, I literally have 100. Okay, so let's get some heals in. Let's save. I don't need to save state. Yeah, I just need to like save. Okay, so there's the heal. Yes, Alien. If you look all the way at the bottom of the sheet, Alien Soldier is one of the final games. Because I made the last 3 games just games that I want to play. If you're including unofficial releases back in the day, which is like a lot of Accolade games and like, and some Color Dream stuff, it's like 707. If you cut those out, it's a little under 700. It's like 690 something. I also didn't include the Genesis 6-in-1 pack because I would just be repeating 6 games earlier in the library. Wait, what do you mean does anyone else need to be cured? That is a full heal, right? Okay, good. That freaked me out a bit. Tech, roll. Okay, I can't use technique. Oh, she can heal. Okay, that's really good to know. What I do want to do is get 2 antidotes, just so I'm safe. Oh yeah, that 1989 walking speed. Oh wait, I need to get the new guy. There's a knock at the door. I'm sorry to intrude, but I've heard that Rolf and Nay are trying to solve the mystery of the biomonsters. I am a professional biomonster hunter. I have little talent, except that I am good with a gun. Okay, so he's American. I also want to go with you. My name is Rudo, which is Rudolph Steiner. Maybe you think you know a better name for me? Nope, perfect name. Your name fits you well. I'm glad to have you in our group. Let's check the roster at the point where Rudo came in. Let's reorganize. Who should we take in the party? Rudo. This is much more reassuring. Well, let's get going. No VR Fighter versus Taken 2. Yeah, if you include... Yeah, there's not a lot of Japanese exclusive European releases. It doesn't... I think it's past 870. I think it's more like 900 or 1,000, but I could be wrong. I think you probably know better than me, iDoc. Okay, so antidotes. I'll just put 1 in each character. I'm eventually also going to want an escape pipe, because I do not want to go in any dungeon without an escape pipe. Doing that is just extremely inadvisable. Alright, well. Alright, now I have a heal item for each character. And I'm good to save. Fine, minus the sports trash. Of course, Scott Steiner references. Alright, 38 points, 11 points, 32 points. Yes. 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 Wait, I have to enter a name every time? Okay, good. Yes. Okay. Just to be extra safe, I'm going to save the state. And we're gonna grind some more, baby! I hope you like grinding. Wolf is so slow. Oh, I didn't even check his, like, the status. How fast he is. Agility 18. Agility 34. Oh, wow. And, alright. Wow, Rudo is super strong. Oh, and he has he has like a full set of gear. Why don't I get a full set of gear? I have not seen his nephew running that promo back. This game's encounter rate is just so random. Because sometimes you'll like fight no enemies for like 50 steps, and then other times you'll like go like 5 steps. Did he seriously do only 4 damage? That is correct. I thought he had 2 guns. Like, I'm gonna want to save up for that shotgun or whatever soon. There you go. I stepped like 5 steps. And the last time, I like made it like 50 steps without an encounter. I think Rudo can only equip guns. Someone can correct me, though. There's 1 and 2-handed guns. Okay, I'm probably going to want to get one of the 2-handed guns. Because, do I want to run away or do I just want to fight? Let's fight. Oh, no! Let me go in strategy. Order. Okay. Heal yourself. I don't know. This button's starting to get stuck. Maybe I want to use a controller other than this one. Or maybe I just need to open it up. Let's see. Just fight. I don't think I need to be especially mindful of anything. Most of the time, just get him guns. Yeah, Butters, I don't think this game ever targets, like, dead enemies, like Final Fantasy 1. You don't go too long without Rudo having a good gun, but 2 knives would be better for the immediate start. I think in that case, it's just better to save up for, like, a shotgun or something. Ooh, Poisoner. Let's fight anyway. Okay, I have no regrets greeting out and going for 2 steel bars and nay. She's by far doing the most damage, and it is very worth just letting her attack twice. Okay, I think like the first dungeon is somewhere up there. I don't want to get too close to it. I just kind of want to hang out near the town. Uh-oh. 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 They look big and scary. Okay, they're not big and scary. Yeah, so like the way guns worked in Phantasy Star 1 is that the guy who used guns, Odin, would hit all the enemies within an enemy group. Okay, I don't need to heal yet, but I'm probably going to heal out of battle. Cool. Yeah, we're gonna be grinding for a while. I don't really see a way around this. Unless I'm suddenly gonna learn the glitch route and beat the game in 36 minutes. Or 40 minutes or whatever. Yes, there is a glitch in this game that I think it just lets you like warp to the credits or something like that. It's actually the most common category for this game because it looks like the no major glitches category is just very volatile. I feel like no experience. I don't think I need to. I'll just heal Nay to be safe. Swap letters of your name for key items. Nice. Oh, why do I have to play the frogs? Okay, it's the bleed attack that really sucks and any miss, so that's good. Okay, good. long as I'm healthy, we're just grinding. Oh, actually, I have enough money for a dagger. I might want to put one of those on Rolf to make him stronger. Yeah. I think in the short term, I at least want 2 daggers on Rolf. I'll eventually want a sword, but a sword is really expensive, and it only lets him hit once anyway. Oh, yeah. I think I know what event you're talking about. What's my state like? I'm gonna be checking this a lot. I know that might not seem like fun, but I just want to play it really safe when it comes to the grind. Oh, interesting. That makes sense. Okay. Yeah, still fine. At least the music's upbeat. I mean, we're gonna be hearing the battle music a lot, so you might as well make it a nice little tune. But so far, I'm liking this game. I just know it's gonna be a big old grind. Because it's an old school RPG, as Spike would say, kinda crusty. So far I'm liking Spike. My only fear is because I patched the game doesn't seem to want to save normally, but I think I've found a workaround it using the flash cart save. Oh, Nate is doing so much work. Okay, I could grind more, but I think it's just safer to heal. And then buy a dagger for Rolf. In fact, let's buy the dagger first. It's right there. I just love her looking aesthetic. Okay, I assume I eventually want the shotgun for Rudo. Or okay, Rolf is gonna be the lug that carries it. Wait, no, Rolf is not the lug who carries it. Rudo? Okay, Rudo's carrying it, I guess. Okay, so his attack goes down. Okay, so I think what I want to do is, like IDOC said, I probably want to sell the bow. Okay, let's see how much money I have before doing this. No, there's a teleporter. There's gonna be a big plus sign. Where are you, big plus sign? Hello. Let's cure. Boom, we're cured. Nope. How much does the bowgun sell for? Because yeah, I know eventually I'm just gonna want to like go all in on guns for Rudo, but like it does seem like double daggers is better. Oh, yeah. Oh, congrats on being second place for low level. I can sell items, right? Oh, I probably have to go all the way back to the first town to do so. Well, guess what we're doing? We're going all the way back to the first town. And then we'll have enough money to buy a dagger. Actually, what is Rolf using right now? He's using a knife. What can Rolf equip then if he can't use... Okay, so... Dagger is... Okay, Rudo's not mentioned on that list. Nice, so this list isn't even 100% accurate. he can use the ceramic knife, but isn't that super expensive? This is the game FAQs guide that I'm referring to for the equipment guide. If anyone has a better reference, I'm fine. Oh, yeah. That's just like Phantasy Star 1, where like Odin's guns always did the same damage, which was both a good thing and a bad thing. Yeah, that's why I want the shotgun, so... Oh, that sucks. Oh, that also sucks. Oh, nice. Oh, this is a bad battle. Of course, Nay's doing all the work as usual. I think I'm okay with the amount of health she has. But yeah. As long as y'all aren't, like, straight up spoiling the game for me, I'm okay with, like, some backseating, like, equipment and stuff like that. Okay, I definitely want the dagger, because that does way more damage than the gun does right now. So I'm gonna want to sell that bow gun. I assume I go to the item shop to sell items. Or the pharmacy, or whatever it is. Yeah, that's the one thing that I know about this game is that Rudo is your first additional party member, and he just stays. Like, every single party configuration I've seen, whether it's casual, the recommended party, Dino, or even the speed run, they all get Rudo. And they just use him for the entire game. Yeah, and what Incident said, he has a ton of health. I assume one of the permanent... Well, I don't want to get too much into the weeds. But I think I'm going to deviate a little bit from what most people do, because I assume one of the other slots is that people keep... What's her name? Amy? The one who just has all the healing spells? And I kind of don't want to do that. Even if that's a smart thing to do. You mean Rudolph Steiner? Put some respect on his name. So I don't have to, like, heal. Okay. Please, let me sell the bowgun. It's, like, down here? No, that's the armor. Okay. Then I think I know who the third character is, and yeah, I'm gonna be using her. I also know, if nothing else, you always level up Sheer to level 10 to steal the Visiphone. Yeah, sell. Rudo. Bowgun. Yeah, this thing sucks. I hate it. Yes? Oh, no. Okay, so what we're gonna do, because we have a bunch of money right now, we are gonna get an escape pipe. The telepipe is less important, but the escape pipe is essential for a dungeon. We're gonna put it on roll. There we go. Because the escape pipe is like exit, you know, in another RPG game. You just instantly teleport yourself out of the dungeon. And now, I'm going to go to the item shop and get another dagger for Rudo. Eventually, I'm going to want the shotgun. And maybe I should save up for the shotgun would be the smarter play. Scalpel. Is it... Okay, it looks like that is only... Yeah, those two can use a scalpel. So I'd rather get the dagger. So the shotgun. Is it better to save for the shotgun, or should I just use the double daggers for now and get the shotgun like after the first dungeon? I'm kind of thinking double daggers and get the shotgun after the first dungeon. I assume the sonic gun is not worth it. Okay. Let's get the dagger. No. Use it or lose it. I love her just super rude attitude. Left. Yeah. Take that, bowgun. You suck. Can I purchase any armor? I'm one short of... Okay, I can sell something to get that, though. And I don't think I have any headgear, if I'm not mistaken. I need to actually look at what my character... Okay, yeah. He has no headgear. Yeah, she has a full set of stuff. I don't know if it's very good, but she has it. Yeah, his defense is bad. And his defense is great because, of course, he has a full set of stuff. So I need to beat up, like, one more enemy. Because he doesn't even have a helmet that I can sell. Nice. Yeah, I think the double daggers is a good plan. Why does it always place me on the opposite side here? We're gonna make it, eventually. Okay, let's get a headgear for Rolf. Here, take it. Do you want anything else? I just have how rude they are. Here, take it. Get out of my face. I mean, I'm sure part of that is the translation. Oh my god, you have such limited inventory space. I know Rolf eventually gets a heal spell himself. Yeah, but I'm glad that everyone has at least one monomate and an antidote. I don't know if I'll need the antidote as much as I think I do, but... And I do have an escape pipe, right? Yes, I do have an escape pipe. Good. Yeah, and we are going to... Save. 40 points, 39 points. Oh, Rudo is almost about to level up. Yes, it is okay to erase it. We sure are. And we're doing this just to make sure I can get my save back, because I don't know if it's the patch or my flashcard or a combination of the two, but this game does not like holding its saves. Oh, escapipe. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, which is funny, because in Shining in the Darkness, it's just this, like, old dude who asks you. And let's go. Oh, he missed. She missed. They're missing! Old RPGs. Old RPGs, what can I say? But yeah, I was actually big into JRPGs as a kid, but I played more the Super Nintendo RPGs. Like I had Final Fantasy 4. I had Breath of Fire. I had Secret of Mana. In fact, I still have my original Secret of Mana card. I had Super Mario RPG, but I lost my cart, which really sucks. I played a bunch of PS1 RPGs, like Vandal Hearts, Final Fantasy Tactics, Final Fantasy VII. But I stopped being as much in RPGs, like, when I got into my later teenage years, like, into my earlier adult years. And also, you know, I started reading more books and, like, seeing more movies and stuff like that. So I realized that RPG plot's really not that great. That being said, I still enjoy JRPGs. I just, like, I'm just not as obsessed with them as I was as a kid. Yeah, I play maybe one new RPG a year, and that's being generous. But yeah, because I started with Final Fantasy II, I'm not a huge grinder person, because Final Fantasy II, until, like, debatably the final area, doesn't really require much grinding at all. Okay, I think I want to grind a little bit more, and then after I heal, I'm gonna want to go to the dungeon and see how that goes. Oh, of course, that guy has to do so much damage. God, the early enemies really just do not give much experience. That sounds interesting. I've never heard of it. I'm guessing it's not like a super popular game. I'm guessing it's on Steam? Man, Rudo can take a ton of hits. So does party order matter a lot for, like, who's prioritized in targeting, or does that not matter at all? Because obviously I want Rudo to be hit the most. It does. First and second slots matter the most. Okay. Good to know. God, the way they walk is so funny. Yeah, I'm really liking this double dagger strat. It makes Rudo a little tankier, but more importantly... Ooh, what's Rolf's new technique? Is it the heal spell? Oh, okay. Ryuka, what does that do? That's what's great about Phantasy Star spell names. You're just like, what's that? Ryuka. Teleports you to the last town you saved the game in. Okay, that is quite useful. I think it's cool, but at the same time, it's really annoying. You're like, I have Gisar. What? You're like, what does this do? I mean, saves still work, effectively. Like, once I load up the flashcard save state, the save is going to be there. So it's still going to work. Actually, what are my... Okay, he's level 3, he's level 4, and she's level 7. Okay. Yeah. I mean, obviously I want telepipes, because, like, I want to teleport directly to a town, especially if it's a town like Arima, which doesn't seem to have a save point. Or at least not one that I found. Actually, I can look at the handy-dandy hint book to see... blah, blah, blah. First dungeon is sure. Hospital, control tower, teleport station, armor store, and clone labs. Okay, nope. I found all the main buildings, so... Buy myself a sword? That's like a bajillion money. I don't have a bajillion money. I have 282. I am not saving up 1,200. Grinding up 1,200 for a sword. You get like, no... money in this game. Why am I poor? I am doing my job, killing monsters. Yeah, I should probably look at the history library sometime to see the history. Sick. Good encounter rate. Oh, I should have actually hit the poisoner first. I'm just kind of like, this is brain off grinding. Yeah. But basically, probably one more level on roll for Rudo, and then, like, I'm good to go. Okay, so Rudo is really slow. Got it. And it doesn't matter that he's paralyzed, because I'm going to win anyway. Or I'm going to win it? Okay, there we go. Oh, okay. So basically, first Phantasy Star Mage made the magic, even though he had a teacher who taught him the magic. I love how Rudo says he has no talents other than shooting a gun, which basically just means that, like, he can't use magic. Oh boy. Yeah, I know this is not the most exciting grind, but this is just how old RPGs work. You grind your face off. And you do it near the town just to be extra safe. You know, I thought I would get into, what is it, PSO 2 or PSO Universe 2 or whatever. But I never even touched the game. Because it looks like it has, like, action-style combat, which looks kind of fun. But, nah. So we're just big chillin' and big grinding. I'm sure we're somewhat close to a level, please. Hey, right. I'm gonna want to heal roll. Oh, yeah. That's what I mean. PSO2. Yeah. PSO1 is like early 2000s. So, of course, it's going to be dated. Oh, yeah, I can see that Sinful Sea. Just like being like, hey, this is like a Final Fantasy where I can just go in the first dungeon. Nope, get fucked. Hey, General Andrews. And yeah, this is game 21 of my challenge, the first game of season 2, and it is. We're just grinding. We're just. Oops. Oh, I thought I went in town. I didn't. Cool. Good. I don't know if I need luck more than patience just to grind a bunch. I swear I'll gain a level at some point. The level will happen. Am I gaining less experience now that I'm higher level? Okay, well, no, Yeah, I think you want to do that even if you're not going for experience, because, like, equipment seems pretty expensive in this game, and the battles don't give a ton of money. Like, I'm pretty sure if I really wanted to save it for the sword, I would have to get at least 30 more no, not 30. Actually, maybe 30. Somewhere around 20 to 30 more battles. Oh, Rudo gained a level. Awesome. Let's see if Rolf can gain a level too. Oh, Idoc, that sounds so miserable. 400? I know the best equipment in the game costs tens of thousands. That's not shocking mythical. But the thing is, if I'm going to properly rate my games, you know, aside from quality of life patches, you know, like the non-red flashing patch that I'm using, and less blinking after every enemy's hit. Because, like, in the original, every enemy blinks 3 times after being hit. So the grinding is even slower. It doesn't change any gameplay. That's all that it does. But, like, I need to have a proper-ish experience to really properly evaluate the game. Only 8,000? I thought it was like tens of thousands. Oh, man. I'm guessing there's no, like, haha, cool thing you can do to get money real fast. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be... Unless there's some kind of, like, investment strategy in this game, I don't think I'm gonna be grinding that much. Let me guess, I have to grind that much so I can be strong enough for the final boss. Okay. I'm almost level 5, I'm sure, at some point in time. Yeah, I mean, obviously I don't want to, like, do a cheat code or anything like that, but yeah, it's just... Alright. Well, after I get level 5, I'm going to take a break for some water and a snack. And then I'll try the first dungeon. See how that goes. I assume if I didn't grind it all for the first dungeon, it would just roll me over so hard. Yeah, I see new enemies like an armor ant, a pulsar, a carrier. Oh, sick, I'm paralyzed. Okay, I'm no longer paralyzed. $10.6 hours. No wonder that dude Sharpie took... I think he took around 50 hours to beat this game. I know Dino took way less time. He took like maybe 20, 25 hours to beat the game. But he already knew the game going in. Exactly. And I don't plan on grinding that much. Although Dino used a really hilarious strat that I'm not going to do, because keeping this character in my party would actually make me so angry. And that's he used Sheer, but he didn't use her for anything other than as a tank, because he equipped 2 shields on her and she just blocked it. Oh yeah, the dungeons in this game are huge. That much I remember. Okay, we're gonna be gaining that level 5. It's gotta happen sometime. Wheel Shield is such a legit tactic in these games. Yeah, it's pretty funny. But yeah, and I think he just like put a bunch of healing items on her. I think she has like a heal spell or two. But one thing that I noticed just looking at the spell list in this game is that like she needs super high levels to use some of the spells. At like a point of leveling that's like actually unreasonable. Yeah, so she always goes first. That makes sense because she's a thief. So the unique thing about Sheer is that she has a chance to steal items from any place, I think, as long as her level's high enough. But in an amazing game design decision, every time she does this, she goes back to Paseo, the first town in the game, and you have to recollect her to get the item. And it's just as tedious and awful as it sounds. And Dino would just laugh when it happens, because, you know, he's Dino. But it's like, I'm like, I don't want to go through that. I don't know. I don't know how long it takes for them to get end level spells, but sure. Okay, I haven't like missed Rolf getting level 5. Nope, he is still level 4. Yeah, I think she has one at like level 52. But yeah, like I know one of her final spells is like 45. Yeah. But yeah, I know that the typical final levels for people, I know Dino was like level 25 because he knew what he was doing, but like the typical final levels for people is like around the mid 30s is what I've heard. I assume the level 48 spell is something super extra, like full heal your party. Yeah, I figure. I mean, the game's being super stingy with it right now. I just want level 5. Please give me level 5. I know the level exists. I mean, if nothing else, is good for my money. Oh, finally! Level 5, it exists! Okay, what did I learn? I learned a new tech. It must be an in-battle tech? Ah, okay. So I have some attack spells now, too. Got it. Okay. And I assume Gifoy is, like, stronger Foy. Alright, so how much money do I have? 842. I have enough for a shotgun. I think I should buy the shotgun. Or is a shotgun not really worth it at this point? How much damage does a shotgun do? It says it's attack 20. Does that mean it does 20 damage? Because I know guns do a fixed amount of damage. Okay, shotgun is worth. Oh, okay, yeah, that's super good. That's super good. And yeah, it's in a group, so that makes sense. Wait. We're getting the shotgun. Wait, do I have enough space for the shotgun? Because this game is stingy on the space, just like how it's stingy with everything else. Okay, so all that grinding was actually super worth it. No. Rudo and shotgun. Okay, now I get to sell my daggers. Unless if there's, like, something I'm missing. But I know I'm... Well, I am gonna... Is it worth keeping a dagger for one of the future characters is the question. Dagger. Okay, so Sheer can use daggers, and he can use daggers, but I'm getting neither one of them for a while. So I can probably sell my daggers, I assume, and not really regret it. Okay, fine. I'll go on the world map. Then I'll use it. Okay. So before I save, I don't want to. This is so ridiculous. Because Rolf can't use daggers. Okay, so probably the next thing I want to buy is a piece of armor. Okay, and stuff sells for half money. That's fine. That's pretty typical in RPGs. You know what I might actually want? Eventually. I don't know if I want it now. But I'm probably going to want a Diemate. For better heals. I don't think I'm quite at the level where I need it, but it's going to come soon because Monomates are only 20 health. And 20 health is not a lot. Let me look at the list of armors and stuff. Okay, so... okay. Yeah, he has full stuff. Fiber coat, boots, whatever. Okay, so headgear, carbon suits. I mean, eventually going to want to sell the headgear for something better, because +3 defense is not a lot. Shields. I have no shield. Is the sword a two-handed weapon? Okay, it is two hands. I don't really know if it's worth getting a shield if I plan on getting a sword anyway. Might as well just save up for the sword. Carbon suit, carbon vest, ceramic armor, blah, blah. So I'm going to want the fiber gear is basically what I want. So I assume I want a fiber coat? Yeah, I did notice the swords have a defense stat on them. I don't know if it's really worth getting... you know, I just want to kill stuff faster. Oh, no. I want to save money. Okay, no. I don't want anything to do with you. Let me see. So, items... Okay, so... He is... Alright, so no one really has much space except for Rudo. So... And I want every character to have at least one item's worth of space. So I do think it is probably worth getting a Diemate, just as, like, an emergency. And Rudo will carry it. Alright, cool. Yeah. Oh, that's such a huge upgrade on the sword. Yeah, I don't know if I want to save up for the sword for the first dungeon. That seems like it's going to take way too long. Central Tower in Paseo, the Capital. Where to? Library. I want to learn some more history. I understand that Rolf and others are going to Biosystem Labs. Biosystems. The Biosystems Lab is where creatures suitable to live in Mota are created through breed improvements. All DNA of Algo are stored there. The reason why Moto was turned into the largest agricultural planet in Algo is owed to the work of this Biosystems Lab. However, 2 years ago, one accident which happened in the Biosystems Lab brought about a creature that is dangerous to humans. Biosystems Lab was shut down immediately, but no report on the cause or remedy has been made yet. I do like that how they have little bits of lore history. I'll do that every now and then so we can catch up on the lore. Welcome to data memory. 68 points. 211 points! Oh my god. No wonder it took him so long to level up. Yes. Yes, okay. And now we save to the flash cart. And we pause a bit because I'm going to get some water and a snack. But I think a good goal for today is get through the first dungeon. And then I'm good. Because that means that even if it somehow doesn't properly save, then yes, I'd lose progress and it would suck, but it wouldn't be such an insurmountable amount of progress that I'd want to like give up on the game or something like that. And I'm 100% going to use the map in the hint book for the first dungeon. Okay, I think we're ready to go. Now I get to walk all the way back to the second town. And just to double check. Yeah. He's properly kitted out. It's really just roll through, needs the sword. And that's way too much grinding. And actually, what gear does the first dungeon have? Okay, dynamite. Some Maseda, Dimate, headgear. Oh, shotgun. You can get that in the first dungeon. Didn't know about that. And if anyone's wondering what I'm talking about with the hint book, this is what I'm using. You can follow along with me. I forgot to heal myself. That's fine. It's not a big deal. Yeah, exactly, iDoc. I'm sure the fighting will cover another couple hundred of it, considering how stingy this game is. I feel like I'm powerful enough that I can just get to the first town, second town, and then I can. That's so unbelievably stingy. This is the one enemy that could make me regret just walking. Okay, he did the weak attack. That's good. Hooray! Oh my god, that 20 damage is so nice. You know what? Even if I get another shotgun in that dungeon, first off, it'll sell for a lot. And secondly, just having the shotgun right now is really nice. Okay, so the doctor is somewhere down here. No, is he up here? There he is. Yep, that's fine. Nice. Okay, we're good. I looked at the instruction booklet, I didn't really like. See, I did read through the instruction booklet, but I don't remember what's in there that's not in the hint book, other than, you know, basic instructions on how to play the game. And no, it's fine. Like, is there anything out of the instruction booklet that I should really know that's not in the hint book? Other than, like, basic game functions? Do I go here? I'll figure out where to go eventually. Yeah, so far I'm enjoying it. It is definitely a bit too grindy for my tastes. Which might become way too grindy. Ah, okay. Interesting. Are you the person who made the patch that eliminates the red flashing? Because if so, you're a very good person for doing that. Oh yeah, I know that if I just went into the dungeons, zero grind, I would just be crying. Or maybe not even crying, just be like, okay, I guess it's grind time. Yeah, and probably when I'm in the dungeons, I'm going to have to use some actual strategy on, like, which groups I want Rudo to hit and stuff like that. Right now, I'm just kind of mashing through it, so it doesn't really matter. Oh, that's all good, Flameberg. As long as we're not spoiling everything for, you know, people who are watching. Maybe for the first time or so. Oh, new enemies. Armor ants. They do 2 or 3 damage instead of 1. Oh, they actually have a lot of health. They don't seem to do a ton of damage, at least. Oh my god, Rolf is so useless right now. And he can't equip daggers, which sucks. Do I already need to heal? Oh, it's so much more experience. Which means I'll only have to go through 10 of those fights instead of, like, 50 of them to get the next level for Rolf. Oh, this game is so ridiculous. States, yeah. Oh, no, he's fine. He didn't take that much damage. Yeah, that's what I was worried with when I went past that bridge to the left, is that, like, I was like, uh-oh, now I'm gonna fight enemies past my strength level. I think I want to do the strategy of order. Rudo to hit the armor ants, and then I can just fight it normal. I assume it's always more efficient to have Rudo, yeah, hit a group. Sick, I'm paralyzed. Nice, I'm not paralyzed anymore. Rudo gains a level. Nice. Now he's even beefier. Yeah, I mean, fortunately I have an escapipe, so like, or an escape pipe. So I'll be able to deal with whatever, as long as I don't die in battle. Also, I do have one question since I haven't attempted it yet. Is the escape rate reasonable in this game, or is it really low? Like, if I think I'm gonna die, is it better if I just try to fight through it, or should I just try to escape? Because I'll have a decent chance of escaping. Okay, so I think that's sure. And A, and res on roll. Okay, yep, I'm in good shape, so. Is there anything else in this area that I want to kind of discover before I go in the dungeon? Tower of Nido. I think the answer is no, because I'm going to be going to the Tower of Nido after I go to this first dungeon, because I think I need the dynamite to get through. Tower of Nido, yeah, okay. Escape is a 50-50. Okay, that's not great, but at least it's worth trying. Okay, so here's the first dungeon, and this is what that guy mentioned, the designer Toru, I can't remember his name, when he mentioned the parallax, being too obsessed with it. This game has a lot of foreground objects in the dungeons. Okay, so first level. Okay, right is just a dead end, so I want to go left. Got it. Okay, yeah. Yeah, it seems like I want to loop all the way around to the left, and there's not much purpose to go to those dead end areas. Yep, that is some parallax. I guess it looks kind of cool. Okay, good. Those aren't like breakable floors or anything. That's good to know. Yeah, those are teleporters, so I can't get to those treasure chests yet. They really were so proud of the pipe overlay. Ooh, this is why it's good to have a shotgun. And good, none of them bled on me. Okay, I'm a little confused. I thought the guns were supposed to hit a group of enemies. That was one group, but he only hit one enemy. Is there something I'm missing? I think it depends on the actual gun. Okay. Let me see. According to weapons. Sonic gun. Okay, it can hit multiple and it's spreading the damage. Okay, so when it spreads the damage like that, it's not doing the full damage. Got it. I like how you also get to fight the beginning enemies in this dungeon too. Because why not? So, there we go. Yep. Okay, so I'm just... Wait. Oh, shit. Have I already lost where I am? Where... Okay, God. Oh, it's so easy to forget where I am. Okay, so I think I want to be going right. If I'm reading the map correctly. Yes, I'm reading the map correctly. I went down a little too far, but that's fine. It's so easy to forget where you are in a dungeon, like, after a battle. I know that's kind of a thing in a lot of RPGs, but I feel like it's especially easy in this game. Okay, I need to heal Nay. I wasn't paying attention because I've just been like mashing attack through battles, but Nay touches Nay. Oh yeah, there's nothing to the right there. We just keep on going. Or you miss it, and of course I'm immediately in a battle. They are really stingy with the money. Oh, nice. We wrecked the bee. Yeah, exactly. Like, it doesn't help that, like, not all the dungeons, but all the early dungeons look like this. So you're just like, Yep, and that's as far as I made it in the game, the first 3 dungeons. I I see. Okay. Interesting, Flame Purge. Vulcan type weapons. But yeah, I feel like I'm doing alright so far in the first dungeon. I should probably check the state. Yeah, I'm fine. Okay, where am I? Okay, so second floor. Oh, wow. This is where it gets really confusing. Okay. I see. So I'm gonna need to go to the corners. And I'm not gonna be able to carry everything, unfortunately. Oh, okay, Flame Purge. That is kind of weird. Okay. Let's go first, I guess. Okay, yeah, let's go right first. Because there's not much there. And going up there to that just seems to be a dead end on that third level. So yeah, go right first. Yeah, I think the problem was I played this game without this hint book the first time I played, and I think that was kind of a mistake. Or a big mistake, really, and I kind of checked out. Oh my god, Rudo is doing so much work, it's nice. Yeah, that's pretty much what he said, MTI. Which is so funny. Okay, which one's the up one and which one's the down one? Okay, well, that's the up one, because that what led to dead end. So this is the down one. You motherfucker. So, oh, we're just trying to get through this game. Okay, nice. Hit 2 spinners. I really wish Rolf did more damage, but he'll do more damage eventually. Or Usus, as he is in the Japanese version. Honestly, I know sometimes stuff people do to localize games is ridiculous, but I gotta say, Rolf is a better name. It's not like Usus is horrible, it's just weird. Okay. Oh, those carriers actually do a decent chunk of damage. Okay. I'm gonna need to heal Rolf. I don't need to heal him, but it's just a good safe move. I'm at least gaining a decent amount of gold. I do think Rudger is better than Rudolph. I think a lot of... Okay, so... Dimates. I think I actually want to transfer this to someone else. Item. How do I transfer items? Okay, give. So where am I going? So second level. Okay, the top one is up. And that one actually goes somewhere. Oh, interesting. I see. But I am going to want to go down first. So let's go down. Yeah, it's weird because, like, I think Amy's name was Anna in the original, and it's like, of course. Thanks, game. Okay, we're going up to third floor then. we're on the 3rd floor. I want to go right. And there we go. Headgear. Okay, cool. I got headgear. Already has headgear. Wolf also already has headgear. Nay does not have headgear, but I don't know if she can equip it. This is okay. This inventory management is going to get really annoying fast. Okay, so I'm on the 3rd level. I got the treasure. Okay, I don't want to go. Okay, I'm curious about this area. This looks like I can fall down there, which is probably something I don't want to do. Yeah. So there's nothing here. Yeah, that makes sense for Alice, but yeah, it's Rudy becoming Jazz is just a little weird. Like Pike to Bev and Grizz, Palma to Palm, Desolus to Dezo, etc. Yeah, exactly, because it was actually named Desolus in the original Master System version, and Palma, I think, too. Even though the characters were only 4 letters. Okay, so I'm on the 3rd level. Yeah, I want to take that down. Okay, he's paralyzed, whatever. We're just big chilling. Okay, I am definitely glad I grinded for this dungeon, because this dungeon would have been impossible if I didn't grind. Alright. Oh no, I opened it good. Of course. Ooh. Oh, are these the enemies that can clone themselves? You are correct, IDoc, because this game has monster labyrinths. And I'm slow at RPGs. Although, it doesn't really matter whether I'm slow or not at RPGs, because this game is just a behemoth. Oh, of course, all of the 1st floor chests are locked. Why would they be openable? Okay, so we are going to all the way to the right. Yep, pretty much, Ayeston. Hey, what's up? Good to see you here. Let's just hit the enemy. Or miss the enemy. That's cool, too. As much grinding as this game takes and everything, and kind of obnoxious as it is, at least, like, the enemies aren't doing a ton of damage, even though I've barely gotten any armor. Like, I've gotten 1 headgear. Okay, so I want to go... I'm stupid enough to try going down again, even though this is likely going to be locked. It sure is. Yeah, I think it's because Tonka was the distributor for this Master System, and it sounded like an employee of Tonka who just liked playing video games, localized the original Phantasy Star, and, you know, it was like Sega of America that localized Phantasy Star II, so I think that's where a lot of the inconsistency springs from. Okay, 3rd level. Oh, that's so long. Oh, okay, well, it's not gonna get any shorter. Okay, so let's... There's a treasure chest down there. Okay, so I go here, go down. Huh, it claims there's 3 pieces of gear on this floor, but I only see 2 treasure chests. Am I missing something? Aha, spoon. I get it, because it is low-hanging fruit joke. Okay, Okay. Oh, it's 200, not 20 Meseta. It might be that the hint book has a few typos and a few mistakes. Makes the playthrough a little bit more spicy. I might actually have enough for the sword, or very close to it. Obviously, I'm not going to leave the dungeon for it, but it means I'll at least get it after I'm done with this dungeon. Yeah, and I think it makes the Lutz thing really confusing coming from the first game, because he's named Noah in the first game. Although one interesting thing about Lutz that I read is that originally Lutz was intended to be intersex, which is a pretty cool choice, and kind of explains why he looks androgynous. Oh no. Okay. Okay, good. Okay, I have a question. In Shining, in the Darkness, if your entire party is paralyzed, you die. Now, in that game, you don't lose progress if you die. I think you just lose money. If all of your party members are paralyzed, do you just instantly game over? Oh my god, these armored ants are wrecking me. Oh, that would help, having Rudo in my party. Okay, good. Oh, wow, that wrecked me. Pretty fierce. Alright. State. Okay, because I'm probably going to need to pick up some items, I'm definitely going to want to use one of my die mates. So let's use the one that's on Rolf. On Bruto. And let's use the Diemate, the Monomate that... Actually, I don't need to do that. I can toss some antidotes if I need to. Let me look at the state, though. Okay. Yeah, so both of them are going to need one res. We're doing pretty good so far. Yes, I'm going in the correct direction. Yes. God. Character select show. Don't. It is ridiculous that, like, you can just completely miss characters in this game if you just don't know that you have to go back to your own home. Let's see. So I'm going down here. There. Yeah, this game without a guide, frankly, would be atrocious. It was a very good call on Sega of America's part to include the hint book. Okay, I see a dude. Okay, so what am I doing here? I see one treasure chest. And it says there are 3 items to be found in this level. It would count as a mark against this game if this game did not come with a guide included. But the game comes with a guide included, so no, it doesn't count as a mark against the game. Scoundrel, I wonder if the biohazards killed them. Wait. There. Yes, okay. Okay. Yeah, it'd be kind of interesting to get that book, The World of Phantasy Star. not coming here with the shotgun. This place would be so much more miserable. Silver ribbon. Okay, I need to... Rudo... Wait, where's their silver ribbon? I didn't just lose the silver ribbon, did I? What the hell? Oh, oh, you can have 2 pages of items. That's so convenient. Oh, that's good. That means I didn't need to use the diamond at all. That's fine, though. I don't regret using it. Okay, so our defense is 40. With the silver ribbon, it will be... 49. Oh, she is quite tanky. In fact, I'm gonna look at... Okay, she should actually be second in line then. Yeah, she should be second in line. Okay, so there is only one treasure chest listed in this dungeon, so I'm just gonna have to kind of stumble around. Fortunately, my resources are good. I'm a little low on res, but other than that, I'm doing pretty fine. There's probably nothing up here. Yeah, there's nothing up here. Let's go all the way into this corner. Is there anything here? No. Okay, there's nothing here. Okay, so I technically wasted time, but that's fine. It's just more experience. Oh no, surprise attack! You know, for the order mattering a lot, Wolf just got attacked like 3 times, but whatever. You know what? Getting 2 steel bars right away was 100% the play. Because without that, the grinding would be so much slower, even though I got the quote-unquote proper items. Yeah, good night, MTI. Yeah, again, I'm gonna be done with this session once I beat this first dungeon. Or if I have to escape. Well, actually, if I have to escape... No, I'd get through the first dungeon a lot faster. Second time through, okay. Especially if I can buy the sword, which I think I can now? Because I'm actually gaining a decent amount of money. Or Meseta, sorry. I must... be in tune with the lore. Oh yeah, I have plenty of money. Wow. That's really good. Boy, I am definitely enjoying this parallax. Just got to observe another dead scoundrel, and there's red, which means there's blood. You wouldn't see that in Nintendo game. Genesis does what Nintendo don't. Okay. Rudo gains a level. Nice. Alright, cool. Stay. No. Right. I want to go along the bottom here. Yeah, I'm going to go. Yeah. It looks like that makes sense that the final treasure chest would be around this really long corner, and I'm fighting new enemies. Which means this might kind of suck. Yeah, that kind of sucks. Oh. Maybe I don't want Nate in second spot. I think I can at least beat these guys. I'm still going to beat this dungeon, but I'm going to play it really safe and do this. I keep on forgetting that Rolf has offensive spells. Can I buy the sword here? Alright, well, first things first. Full heal. I mean, I can just sell the headgear. Let's change my order. Rudo, Rolf. I assume I don't get a new party member, but I can check. Home at last, but there's no time to relax. Before you go out again, you'd better check your companions. Rudo and I are coming with me, so we can our quests without any changes. Yes, there doesn't seem to be any problems. Be on your way. I'm about to buy the big sword right now. Okay, since now that I know I can have 2 pages of items per character, that changes things a lot. Antidote, monomate, dimate. I think I want to equip each character with at least 1 dimate now. And I can sell Nay's ribbon. But yeah, I fought the stronger bees or whatever, and I was like, I survived the fight, but I knew that getting the sword would be a good idea after how much damage those bees did and getting some better armor and stuff too. So I'm going to Nay, sell the ribbon. Yeah, that's fine. Yes, we're gonna buy Dimate for Rolf. Yes, we're gonna buy Dimate for Nay. We are going to buy an escape pipe for Rolf. I could actually buy a telepipe, but it's not really necessary right now. It's going to become more necessary later when I'm actually, like, traveling around and stuff. Oh, wait. Is the sword here? No. Okay. That's fine. Okay, so what armor am I actually going to want? I'm probably going to want the fiber stuff. So let's do a quick check. And I'm not going to get a shield because I'm going to get a sword. Okay, fiber gear. What about the fiber armor? Fiber cape. Oh, okay. Fiber cape is M-A-N-S, so none of them can use it. Carbon suit, carbon vest, fiber coat, carbon shield, carbon ML. I assume that's a shield for Nay? Yeah, looks like it. Or close to it, at least. So I do want a fiber coat, I think. Looking at the item list. Yeah, and Rolf can wear one of those. No. He's in good health. Well, that's the plan. Next. This interface is so clunky. It's very much like a late 80s, early 90s game interface. Again, it doesn't make it a bad game. It's just very much a product of its time. Yeah, I'm selling the carbon suits. It's fine. Yeah, exactly. Like, this walk speed was probably considered fast, if anything, back in 1989. I bet. Okay, I am actually level 6. Yay! Good. Now we're gonna get the sword, and we get to walk all the way back to that dungeon. What fun. Although this time I should just make it clean through the dungeon, even with those harder enemies on the top floor. Can I... Does passing through here do anything? Nope, it just gets me trapped. Nice. Yeah, I'm not familiar with PC 98 RPGs. But yeah, I don't know if I'm on good pace or if I'm on like slow pace or I'm on perfectly average pace. If I had to guess, it is perfectly average pace. Like, this is probably pretty average for this game. And even if it's slow, it's going to pay off later, because I think having the sword is going to make my second go through this dungeon a lot quicker and a lot smoother. Right, I think it's down here. It is. Yeah, I mean, eventually I want, like, double ceramic knives for him, probably, but, like, that's so expensive. So, just get the sword. Use or lose it. Later, Ace. Yeah, well, look at my attack. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's such a big increase in attack. Okay, yeah, but I still want Rudo in front because he has way more defense than Rolf and just way more health. And let's just confirm. Yep, I'm at nearly full resources, so we are good to go. So there is no shame in using spells on some of those fools. So if I need to melt some fools later, it's like up here? Or do I have to go down and around? Oh, I can't remember. It really is funny. And yet she's not, like, much stronger than anyone else in your party. I legitimately don't remember. I just know it's way up in the northeast. But yeah, I'm not 100% surprised I could not make it through all in one trip. So I'm going, yep, all the way around. Yeah, it's fine. He dies. Okay, now Rolf is doing good damage. And he has good defense. My order is it the correct order? Yes, correct order. Oh, I could have just actually looked at my party. But yeah, I do feel like beating the first dungeon is a good cutoff point. I know that's not quite the first plot point, so to speak, but it's good enough, and I think the second dungeon is going to take a little while anyway. Also, I'll just create a backup like emulator scene in case if I have to play this game on emulator, like it doesn't save properly for whatever reason. Imagine playing this game and every time you got hit, the screen blinked red, and every time you hit an enemy, it blinked 3 times. Oof. Oops, that was a little bit of unnecessary move. Whatever, it's not like I'm speedrunning this. So what's really impressive is that the any percent, like, no major glitches or no glitches or whatever, it's less than 6 hours. And it's like the record by far. Like, I looked at the splits and like the person got like a gold split that was like 20 or 30 minutes under their like previous best. I don't know if it's like a lack of attempts or just how RNG the game is, or both. Right. Yeah, I mean, this is gonna take a little while, but it's not gonna be as long as last time because, like, I'm not exploring the dungeon. I'm just going straight to where I need to go. And I'm higher level and have more resources and a better weapon on Rolf, which honestly helps a lot because he was doing nothing the last time. He was basically just there to soak up hits. Yeah, so left, go all the way around. At least the battlefield's sketchy. Because we are grinding more. The one part that I'm really not looking forward to, and I'll just reveal it right now, every party member you get in this game starts at level 1. Which is such a bad decision. I don't know why they did that. Like, use average party level, or just put them at a preset level. Yeah, PMC, I think I looked at your fantasy bracket, You gave this game quite a high rating. I'm liking this game. I don't think I'm going to give it a rating that high. And that is definitely one reason why. Because that genuinely sucks. And it discourages you from ever experimenting with characters in the game. Because you're like, well, I invested all this time leveling up this character. Okay, I'm going to heal roll soon. Oh no, he did the bloody attack. You'd think it'd be like a tongue lash, but no, he just bleeds all over. Or maybe it's a bunch of tongues. Either way, it looks really weird. Okay. State. Yeah, I want to heal May soon. That's the one up. Okay, so I am on the 3rd floor. Yeah, so I'm going down and around. Okay. Right. Okay, right. Okay, I remember how this works. You weren't too alone, no. I think the most common rating was a 7. I went over the fantasy stuff earlier in the stream, if you want to watch the VOD. Although that part of the VOD I won't be putting up on YouTube. Because I feel like fantasy, you know, like preview stuff is really more for like more dedicated people who want to watch the stream. And it's not like my YouTube VODs get a lot of views anyway. I still need to upload the Tick VOD. I just haven't for some reason. I actually have uploaded. I just haven't put in the description and everything. And I'm probably not going to add it to the playlist until like the Tick is actually reached in the event, because it's actually really going to screw up playlist order. Everyone yearns for the Tick. Yeah, everyone needs that kick. A kick. Yeah, that's the funny thing. Tick mostly has very good media. But that game is just so bad. It really should be. Yeah, so, I mean, I've already uploaded it. And I'll, like, you know, put in the description and everything. It's just like, okay, so I'm on the 4th floor. All right, I'm just going all the way down and around. Right. It seems like a safe rule of thumb for this game is to take the longest route around. Do so much better with the sword. It is ridiculous. I assume I'm eventually going to want 2 ceramic knives. That's really expensive. And I might not even want to do that. Yeah, the Amazon show was good. I've only seen 2 seasons of it, but the 2 seasons I saw were really good. Okay, so even though it's expensive, it's worth the investment. Okay, 20% of the game, as in at least 5 hours or whatever. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, streaming companies have a habit of doing that if their show is making $1 million bajillion. Or I guess getting 1 million bajillion views. Definitely gonna want to heal Nay. We'll want to heal Rolf soon. Yep, going all the way around. And yeah, and if you're wondering what I'm looking at the hint book for this game, which you can download from Sega Retro or archive.org. In fact, if you want to follow along with me for whatever reason, feel free to. Hello, Socrates. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of people who are really into this game, so that's cool. And, you know, even after all the raids, I still have a pretty high viewer count, so that's pretty neat too. I think we're just about to get through the first dungeon, but we want to make sure Rolf's hit points are topped up, because these enemies are starting to hit a bit harder, and I didn't really go out of my way to buy much armor. I just got a sword and some base armor for Rolf. Okay, so I want to go... Actually, let me just double check, because the game's not terribly accurate about... Okay. It's pretty obvious I'm supposed to talk to that. I'm supposed to observe that guy, and there's probably going to be like... It says there's some deadly fight or something. A strong opponent will give you a lot of trouble. Okay. Yeah, iDoc. I do think people underestimate or underrate a lot of the Genesis's library. But one part that's really not underrated compared to the Super Nintendo is the RPGs. There was just a lack of them. Now, there's at least one game that I think is really good, that I think is too overlooked, but other than that, if you want RPGs from the 16-bit era, definitely just go to the Super Nintendo. Yeah, well, Final Fantasy IV was actually my first RPG. And I think it was a really good starter one, because it's like not grindy at all. Well, maybe for the final dungeon, but I was fighting enough enemies that I don't think it really mattered back then. Okay, let me look at my state. I'm going to want to heal Rudo a little bit more. And yeah, Nay will still have 3 heals after this, so it's fine. I don't think I need to heal Rolf anymore. Where's the biohazards? Killed him. Oh my, there's something inside the pocket. So, small key. Just on the letter. Just got hold of the letter. Darum, I have your daughter Tame locked in Edo Tower. Pay 50,000 Maseta in 1 month if you ever want to see her again. Get the money Darum turned to crime. Well, does crime even pay that much in this world? Everything is so stingy. I don't know if it really works out that well. You know what? I'm just realizing something. It might actually be a better idea for me to use an escape pipe. And then use that to get to the 2nd floor more quickly. Yeah, Shining Force I've heard very good things about. The only game I've actually played in that series is Shining in the Darkness, which is kind of funny. Ooh, he learned a new technique. What did he learn? Henas. What does Henas do? If it actually lets me escape, it sure does. We're hella using that. And now we're going back inside. Because I still need the stuff inside those treasure chests. Let's see. State, tech. Oh my god, this is so tedious. They really made these dungeons in like the most obnoxious way possible. It's like Spike says, someone gave too much of a fuck about dungeons. Sword of Vermilion. I don't know much about that game. I think I played it for like 5 or 10 minutes once and I was not a fan, but that was 5 or 10 minutes, so that's not really giving the game much of a chance. The only thing that I really know about Sword of Vermilion, and when I play that game, I want this 100% spoiled for me when it happens. there's a town you go into, and apparently they just steal all your money. So what you want to do is that you want to spend all your money before going into that town. That's the only thing I know about the game. I don't know which town it is, what's it called, whatever. That game also came with the hint book, which I found online, and I'm also going to be using when I play that game. No, I think they just steal your money. I think that's part of the plot. They just steal all your money. Because old games. Hell yeah. That's it. On forever. Exactly. Okay, so I'm here on the second floor. And yeah, so I want to go down in the bottom right corner first, because that's one that's cut off from all the other parts, and then it doesn't really matter. And I can just loop around clockwise. But yeah, that's the only thing I know about Sword of Vermilion, is that there is a part where you go into a town and they either steal all your money or you lose it somehow. And no, you don't get it back. Because great design. Alright, cool. Oh yes, it's locked. Okay, thank you. I have a key. Container opens. Dynamite. Okay, cool. Rudo has dynamite. That's actually great. I think it's actually a worse situation. It's worse than them stealing all your money. Wait, did I screw something up? No, I didn't screw anything up. Oh, take your equipment. Oh, that's so bad and so good at the same time. I'm generally not one for, spoilers in games, but that's something I really want spoiled so I can prepare for it, because that is some douchey shit to do. And hey, Eggman. It's a shop where if you leave without buying something, they just take everything. Oh, so I don't need to spend all my money. I just need to buy something in that shop. So basically, I need to make sure I'm not poor. We don't know if it's an item shop. It could be an equipment shop that's super expensive. Okay, got both dynamites, but I still want to check all the treasure chests. And I think once I collect the dynamite, or once I go through all the treasure chests, I'm done with this dungeon. Like, there's no more to explore. And I have a lot of money, too. Oh boy. That's fine. Okay. This game is not 90 hours. I know Sharpie took like 50. I know Dino, who actually has knowledge in the game, took like maybe 20 or less. I think it depends on how knowledgeable you are in the game, if you know where to efficiently grind, and if you have decent knowledge of like how to beat the enemies. 30 to 35 for my pace. Okay, I'm not shocked. I think I went up to the 3rd floor by accident. Yeah, I did. Okay, cool. That's fine. Yeah, I'm still in Dungeon 1. I could have maybe gotten through without leaving and coming back, but I was kind of low on resources, and those 4th floor bees were doing some damage, so I was like, just play it safe, come back here. Oh my god, it's right? Old game interface. I assume I'm done with a small key after this, and I can just like throw it into storage or whatever. Let's put this monomates on A. It's just one more treasure chest left. Yeah, I can see that. I'm almost done with this first dungeon, which doesn't even get past the first quest point in the game. Or the first plot point, I should say. Rolf Solo Challenge. That sounds like complete and utter masochism. That's really impressive. Because I would expect even more grinding than that. Because the common knowledge, which doesn't seem to be that true because Dino beat it like level 25, is that you need like level 35 or so to beat the game. Probably with my lack of knowledge, I'm probably going to need at least like high 20s, low 30s. But I don't think I'm going to need level 35. Okay, I said that. Okay, we're good. We're out. Rolf, Venus. Wolf. Okay. I mean, technically I could have gone right in the next dungeon, but it's getting a little late, and I think now is a good stopping point. I just want... Is there anything I want to... Is there anything I want to, like... sell or anything? Diamond, headgear, blah... Okay, I'm going to want to sell the headgear. Sell the escapipe. I want to sell the knife. I'm going to want to put the small key in a baggage. I'm guessing it has some use later on in the game. There's one really bad boss fight near the end. Generally, other fights are easy to take throughout. Okay, we're definitely selling some gear. Rolf, I want to sell his knife. Yes. I want to sell the headgear because I already got it. No. Oh no, wait. I think I want. Do I want to buy another item? I already have dimates. You know what's actually going to be really useful? Telepipe. Also, I should start using the teleporter now that I have money. Nope. I guess one thing I could get. I don't know if it's really worth getting, but I could get a fiber coat for Rudo. He already has one. I am so smart. I should have looked. Oh well, that's 150 Meseta down the drain. It's fine, I have plenty of money. That's not really a big concern. Actually, let's is the next character I get, can she equip it? Coats. Footwear, blah blah blah. Fiber coat. No. Yeah. Yeah, so we sell it. Yeah, that's not really like a huge spoiler. That fight does sound totally obnoxious and horrible. Okay, where's the healer? I mean, where's the doctor? There we go. The doctor. Boom, we're healed. Nah, I'm good. I assume cure is for stuff like poison. I don't even know if there's any other status effects that last outside of battle. Yep, this is looking good. And then we are going to save. Oh, he's almost about to level. And of course, Rolf is super far away because he levels up so slowly for some reason. I guess because he's required to be in the party at all times. Yes. Okay. Now what we do... There we go. Let me go back to menu. All right, cool. Let's see. Oh, I should pause the timer. Make note of those times. Let's do time 30. Yeah, I feel like that's good progress. I should be able to knock out the second dungeon pretty quickly when I start tomorrow. I won't be starting until the evening again, although this time I will not be reading through a bunch of ads, reviews, and lore about Phantasy Star II. Although I still think all that stuff was really fun and worth it. But now we can just get right into the game. And I should at least be able to probably get the recorder in that session as long as I'm playing for 3 or 4 hours. And I do feel like this was good progress, so... I mean, I got a nice big amount of viewers, so let's see if there is a good channel to raid. Okay. That's not a bad one. It's a pretty good one. Yeah, sure. I'll just raid the Sega crew because they're doing a fundraiser for a guy in the Sega community, and they're generally a cool group of people. And let's see, so yeah. And to be fair, without the lore stuff, you would not get the most cursed and best image of Shove It that you've ever seen in your life. Anyway, rating the Sega crew. Good night, everyone. I'll be streaming again tomorrow.